Hello, I'm your Kingdom Spiritual Transformational and Life Purpose Life Coach and Mentor Latricia Booker. And I'm popping in on you to tell you that they are hoping that you fail so that you can come to them, so that you can come to them for help, so that you can deal with them. They are hoping that you fail so that you can will come to them. And so this message stems from a dream that I had a few nights ago or so. And initially, when I had the dream was me talking to a person over the phone that I don't talk to anymore. Now, this is a person that I used to talk to years ago, where I would go to them to talk to, I would go to them for counsel years ago. Now, as of a few years ago, I stopped talking to them. But I wasn't going to them for counsel for quite some time because they were not someone who I would go to for counsel for any longer. So, again, in this dream, I was talking to this person on the phone. And even in the dream, it was weird. Even in the dream, I was like talking and was just like, it's almost like, what I'm talking to you for? So anyhow, of course, when I woke up and I thought about the dream, I was doing that. I was like, God. But here's the thing. I have dreams. Sometimes I have these dreams where this is what whoever the person is that's in the dream wants. This is what they're wanting. This is what they're wanting. This is what they're desiring. But when I have these kind of dreams, this is also what's not going to happen. It's just what they want, what they wish for, or what they were wishing for. And in this case, it is a thing where they know that it's not going to happen, but they would like for it to. So, kingdom people, they are hoping that you fail so that you can come to them, deal with them, come to them, maybe even for help, something that you wouldn't come to them for anyway. And they feel that this is the only way you would deal with them if you fail. Now, and the reason being is because these are people you already have learned. You've dealt with them already. You know their nature. You know how they move. You know their compromise. These are kingdom people, Agent Smiths. And what, if you don't know, Agent Smith is from the Matrix, which means they're your enemy. They are compromised, unclean spirits, demonic entities, people that don't mean you no good. And you've discovered that. You know that. And so you wouldn't go to them. I have this thing where some people are not even an option. Let's just say I need some help in something. But, certain people I wouldn't even consider. Because if I don't deal with you, I'm not going to think of you. Or, should I say, God not going to lead me to you. Because I'm real big on not really asking for help, in that kind of a way these days anymore. It doesn't mean that I don't when I need to. But again, certain people are not even an option, especially when it comes to anything. Again, first of all, if I need counsel, and I'm not saying that it seemed in the dream that that's what the dream was about. And or it seemed like I was just telling them what was going on. That's how it really was. I was telling them what was going on, and it seemed like it was in a way to get their input or whatever. And again, this is not somebody I would do that with. I don't even talk to them and don't have no plans on ever talking to them again. I don't have any plans on it. Maybe God is doing something else and it would have to be God. It would have to be God circumstantially, I'm sure. But that's a whole nother thing, because that's not even something that's on my mind. But I do know I definitely wouldn't ever have to go to them in that way to tell them my business. This is a monitoring spirit. So anyhow, like I said, in a dream, I was talking. And so what God was showing me, like I said, I was like, like, that's weird. Even though I get these kind of dreams, I still was like, that's weird. And God said to me, what I'm sharing with you all, they want me to come they want me to fail. So that, well, first he just gave me, that's what they want. They want you to come to them. Then he gave me later, maybe the next day or something like that, they want you to fail so that you can come to them. And so here I go again. Even if I fail, and failed at what was my question? These people don't even know what I'm on, what I'm doing. This person, these people, because there's quite a few of them, but this one in the dream in particular, they just focused on me hard right now. But my thing to God was, how can I fail if I'm doing what you're telling me to do? How can I fail if, I'm doing what God is telling me to do? Fail at what? And I get that there is a such thing as failing at something. But again, these people don't know nothing about nothing I got going on and nothing that I'm doing. Even being here. How can I fail at this if I'm just doing what God telling me to do? It's not by power, it's not by might, but it's by his spirit. That's the same thing. This is what I told God. That's the same thing as you failing. Anyway, we know how these kind of people think. But let me move on to the more meat of this message. God went on to tell me that this person wants me, they want me around, want me to deal with them so that they can feel better. And then he said about their own failures, about their own feelings of being a failure, which is why they want me to fail, so that I can deal with them as a failure. So that way we would have something in common. Because they know the only kind of people I would deal with is people that I have something in common with. So I guess if I failure is what we would have in common. Now, kingdom people, this person, God was showing me, feels like a failure in life. And if I be honest, from what he showed me and how he, how he presented it to me, I get it, why they feel that way. This is a person among others who do things their way instead of God's way. They've done that, they've been doing that, and they're not trying to change that. Many a times what happens, kingdom people, God was showing me how people build up this life. They do all this, and if God wasn't in it, God ain't in it. And so they don't get the results that they would have gotten had they done things God's way. And so what's happening is when they see you getting the results because you're doing things God's way, that makes them feel like a failure. And they feel like a failure because ultimately in life they have failed. Because I'm going to put it like this. They live in a dead life. It's dead. They're flatlined. And it's because there's no joy there. There's no happiness there. There's no, I'm hearing peace. And it's because when you don't do things God's way, that's not going to be there. Furthermore, this is a person that has tried to hinder me. You heard me say this is a monitoring spirit. Now, let me add this part as well. This person, God was even showing me how at one point in time, like I said, I would talk to this person. I had stopped coming to him for counsel years ago, but I would talk to him sometime. This person, he even got to a point where they would call me, and they're an elder, but they were calling me because they wanted me to talk. Or even when I was around, when I would visit my hometown and I was around them, I would talk. That's what you do when you're around people. You talk, and I'm a bit of a talker. I was a bit of a sharer. And so they wanted that. They want to hear. They want me to share. They want me to tell them whatever they want me to tell them. But what God really showed me is let me say this one first. They want me to feed their ego. And I can remember God showing me that's part of making them feel better. If I fail, come around them, deal with them. We both failures. Look, how they say misery loves companies. I guess failures love company too. So this failure want me to be its company as a failure, which would never happen because I can never fail. When God, all things are possible, okay? And when he telling you to do what he telling you to do, if he, only way I can fail is if he fail, is if he failed me. Anyway, kingdom people, God said they want you to feed their ego. They want you to make them feel better. Furthermore, they want to feed off of you. This person used to do that. I would talk and talk and talk, and they would feed off of that. That gives, when we talk and we engage, with people, kingdom people, we give them energy. We make them feel good. Our anointing is being poured out on them. Our energy, our spirit, who we are, it makes them feel good. People feel good around us, and so they feed off of that. They pull off that. But when you're not around and you're not talking to them and dealing with them, they're not getting that. And there's not many people out here like you, kingdom people. They're not, I'm going to put it like this. There are people, others of us, as we know, but they ain't coming around them. God ain't bringing them around them. You were the one. You were the one. And so now when you're no longer around, their life is they're lifeless is what I'm hearing. It's like a dead life. And so, as I was saying, God was just showing me how this person needs me, wants me to fail, hoping that I fail, so that I would have something to do with them. And as I already said, that would never happen. Now, I want to point this out as well. How can I say this right? The only way that they'll feel better is if you fail. Is if I fail, of course, for this person. The problem is you won't fail. The problem is I won't fail. And they know that. God said they hoping that you fail, but they know that you won't. See, people understand when you're in God's hands, especially when they've tried and tried. This person has tried all their tricks. I just heard they tried all their spells in their spell book. I don't know if they really have a spell book, but that's what I just heard. Whatever their tricks are. Listen, witchcraft is a real thing. Anytime anyone is trying to alter your destiny, manipulate your fate, manipulate what God is doing in your life, keep you from that, even monitoring you for the sake of extracting from you and attempting to hinder you at the same time. And I'm literally hearing destiny transfer. And this is something that this person was trying to do with me as well. I had shared something with them, and I found out it was like an idea. And I had found out they were trying to implement that idea. And it kind of tripped me out. But God was showing me then they was trying to do a destiny transfer. They wanted my destiny. But they realize now that they can't have it. And so, going back to wanting you to go to them, hoping that you will fail, so that you will come to them for help. Here's the thing, kingdom people. These are people who, again, they know that you won't fail. And so they want you around so that they can feel better, so they can feed off of you, and in their mind have another opportunity to keep you from your destiny. These people understand that as long as you are around them and engaging them, attached to them in any way, it keeps you from where God is taking you, which is why it's so important to move around people once God reveal to you who they are, and once God tell you, remove yourself from them. Don't have anything to do with them, because he's clearly showing you what their intentions are, and it's not good. And that even being around someone who has ill intentions for you, even if they're harboring jealousy in their heart. God was showing me this again this morning. This is a different person that was on my spirit when he was showing me this. But even if someone is not actively word cursing you and speaking something over you and saying this and doing that, if they're sitting hoping that you don't make it, if they're sitting within themselves hoping that you don't do this, not liking that you're doing well, not wanting you to, whatever the case may be, and they have, like I said, jealousy in their heart towards you, that's witchcraft. That is a form of witchcraft. And so what gives witches or whatever, people that practice this whole thing, or even if they not aware that that's what they're doing, because some in these cases, people that just sit in jealousy and they feel all those feelings don't necessarily know that they're operating in the spirit of witchcraft. But that's what it is. Again, that's why God, when he reveals these people to you, their true intentions, how they feel, he tells you to remove yourself away from them, because when you're attached to them, when you're engaging in them, when you're interacting with them, they can either hinder your progress, delay it, or even block it, depending. That's a whole nother discussion. But they can, which is why at a certain point, God moves you from these people. He reveals them to you, then he removes you from them, because it's no longer time to be hindered. Not that you ever were. You were learning. You were in training. It's a thing where just because you wasn't popping off back then, or you hadn't popped off yet, don't mean your pop off time wasn't coming. Things take time to grow. Things take time to build. God had to build you up. God had to grow you. He had to teach you some things. He had to train you for where he was taking you. So sometimes people take that like it ain't gonna happen, especially if you're a person of a certain age or you're getting older. People tend to think that it's too late. Some of these people think that, especially the older ones, they think it's too late. But the truth is, not if they do what God telling them to do. But that's a whole nother thing, because what God has taught me is that some of these people, they in situations, like I was saying earlier, they built up these lives, and to make things right and get the blessings that God has for them, first of all, they have to repent for all how they try to stop you and whoever else, and just their ways. I'm hearing their witchcrafty ways. They have to be done with that. And then they will have to let a lot of things go. And I mean people. Some of these people are in marriages that was not God ordained. And maybe jobs that are not ordained. Anything. It could be anything. And they not willing to give it up and let it go to do things God's way. So anyhow, you are in God's hands. You're doing things God's way. And so again, if you were to come back to them, if you fail and you come back to them, which you can't fail, but let's say you had a oopsie, but I can't even say that, because here's the thing, Kingdom people, you not going back to these people that you know are of the devil. That's the crazy thing. Even if we do fail, even if everything collapse and fall apart, we don't want to talk to them. We don't want to go feed them. We don't want to go tell them our business, what had happened. They want you to do that, but it ain't gonna happen, because you ain't gonna fail. And even if you did, you ain't going to talk to them or deal with them or ask them for help or whatever the case may be. And that's another thing, wanting you to have to want them or deal with them in the way you used to is really what they're wanting. They're hoping that you fail so that things could go back the way they were, as if you're going to go back to, well, that kind of makes sense now that I'm thinking about it, People do tend to do that. They go back to what they once knew. And so that's what they're hoping for. They're hoping that you fail at whatever this is you're doing, whatever this assignment God has you on, whatever this mission and this purpose God is moving you into. They're hoping that you fail at it so you can go back to the way things was. So you can go back and do whatever it is that you used to do with them, even though you know they're the devil. They want you to just put all that out. Act like you don't know. They want you to gaslight yourself and come back and give them what they want so that you can feed them. Because see, here's the thing, kingdom people, you still are who you are. You still anointed. God's hand still would be on you. Now, I don't know how that would go with, well, that wouldn't go, because that's not what we're talking about. But I was going to say, if you were to fail because you're not doing what God's telling you to do, but that ain't what we talking about. We talking about you doing what God telling you to do. And even if things flop, because sometimes God do shut down something because he opening up something else. God moves like that. I've learned in my own life, God would be tearing one thing down, but it's only because he got something way much better for you. And so that don't mean, even in that works. That don't mean you failed. If God wants you to be done with something right here, a job or a business or something you're doing, and he want to switch you over to something else, want you to work on something different now, that ain't a failure. Even if let's say you have a business, and a specific business, I don't want to go into no specifics, but you have a specific business and it's not doing so well no more, or it never did so well, but God steer you over here. You know what I'm saying? He gonna make that pop off. Here's the point here. If God is instructing you and God is moving you to do it, I'm just hearing again, it's not by power, it's not by might, it's by my spirit. If he lead you, guide you, and you doing what he have you do, telling you to do, you can't fail. So you will never go back to them. Things will never be the way that they were, but they are hoping that you fail so that things can go back to being the way that they were. Anyhow, kingdom people, let me give you these few scriptures here. Isaiah 26:4. And this has a lot to do with how we operate. This is everything as to how we operate, which is why we wouldn't go to them, especially even if we once did. We grew, we matured, we learned. As I was saying earlier, I'm big on, I don't even ask for help from people. I don't really do that unless I really have to. And certain people, like I said before, are off limits. Here's what we do though. Isaiah 26:4. We trust in the Lord always, for the Lord God is the eternal rock. He is our rock. That's what we do. That's how we live it. We go to him. We trust in him always. Not in people. Not running to people. Now that don't mean that God don't use people to assist us. And not just that kind of people. But I go to God and pray about it and ask God what to do when it comes to certain things, and he will lead me to people if he want me to go to certain people about certain things. But what I can tell you for sure, he won't tell, I'm pretty sure that he won't tell me to go back to somebody he told me to move away from, because they are of the devil and they don't mean me no good. And they're trying to keep me from doing what he's called me to do. They're trying to take from me and sift from me. God not going to tell you to go over there and be trying to ask them for no help. He's not going to lead you that way. Deuteronomy 33:27 says, the eternal God is your refuge, and his everlasting arms are under you. I'm going to say that again. The eternal God is your refuge, and his everlasting arms are under you. He drives out the enemy before you. He cries out, destroy them, destroy them. Listen, the eternal God is your refuge. You are in his everlasting arms. He even drives out the enemy and say, destroy him, destroy him. And that's what's happening, kingdom people. God is your refugee. They have already tried to destroy you, take from you, sift from you, all that, manipulate you, change your destiny swap with you. They've tried all that. And God drove them out. He drove them out and said destroy them. And what's happening is, that's kind of what's happening. They being destroyed. Ain't nothing popping off in these people. These people live a mundane, miserable, pitiful life. Now they might put on for others when they have to deal with others, but when they get by themselves, they miserable. They miserable when they're among others, but again, they have to put on. You gotta, it's showtime. In other words, when it's showtime, it's lights, camera, action. They gotta do what they gotta do. But again, God is your refugee. You ain't running over there for no help to them. You're running straight to God. You're running straight to God. And many times, God just take care of things for you. Now, sometimes you do have to pray about it and ask what to do and all that. But again, he drove them out and destroying them. You ain't going to them. Even if something do crumble. Even if God do bring something down in your life. They're not an option. But they hoping you will fail and make them an option. Anyway, kingdom people, Psalm 121 and 1 through 2 says, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. Okay? You look up to the hills from where your help coming. Your help coming from the Lord. He made heaven and earth. Now, what you need to go run into them? Ten people. But here's the thing. I already said this. I'm going to say it again. They feel like the only way you would deal with them in any way, for any reason, is if you fail. So you have to be a failure to be interested in a failure. To be interested in them. Another failure. Because they know you know they're a failure, even though you ain't even looking at it like that. Like I said, God had to just run it down to me and show me why they feel that way. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And a lot, like I said, a lot of it stems from not doing things God's way. You coming after God's people, trying to stop, block. You was pulling from, now this person gone, which makes you more of a failure, or so they feel, which is, they are. Because when you moving like that and doing stuff like that, you a failure already, just being on that. That's how failures move, not winners. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to try to come after nobody else. We ain't got to do no destiny transfers. We don't need other people. We don't want other people to fail so that we can feel okay. But they do, because they failures. But they want you to fail. They want you to fail. They hoping that you fail. So you can go on back over there with them and be a failure with them. And that is all I have to say about that. So if you like this video and or if it resonates with you, please just go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Then click on that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. Thank you. Then you could go ahead and ring my bell. Ring my bell. Ring my bell so that you can receive a notification every time I upload a new video. Kingdom people, I am running a summer sale for all of my life coaching services. So if you are interested in any of my life coaching services, you can find that information right down below in the description box, along with other helpful resources. Kingdom people, thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you for all your likes, comments, subscribes, your shares, your feedback, your financial contributions to my channel, for all the seeds that you sow into me and my ministry, for your bookings, for your purchases. Kingdom people, thank you for everything that you do here. Thank you. Now, kingdom people, I love you all so very much. I really don't want to leave you, but I do have to go right now. But I will be back to hold my kingdom people down. Now, kingdom people, above all else, let the Holy Spirit lead you in all things at all times. Kingdom people, we are unstoppable, we are unmovable, we are unbreakable, and we are untouchable. That is our time. Kingdom people, go and be great. This Jesus girl is out. Peace.